Before we get started, understand that Havoc will probably get nerfed in the future. Also, use it while it's here, man. The whole point of Remnant is playing the game over and over and over again. So use different builds. This case, there's a build to use. It's pretty fun. I really enjoy it. You're legit a Dark Sith Lord, shocking things. Also, down below there are timestamps to navigate the video. And a side note, I do have a TikTok. I post content there, and it helps me pay my bills, my main source of revenue. So watch it if you want. Have a good one. Enjoy the video. Today we have Archoneer, in this case focusing on the Havoc from the Archon class and or archetype, and it's going to be basically the Sith Lord from Star Wars. You have 2 charges for your skills, and the hope is that you get a reset from getting crits if you have Devouring Loop, which is gotten from doing, what's it called, Apocalypse, and beating that on the hard, like basically Remnant on the hardest difficulty to get Devouring Loop. So the build itself gives you at minimum 70,000-ish damage because you get 2 charges. You can have a bit more. Actually, no, you can't. I think the max is like 48,000 roughly. And that's what most people get because they don't be running this right here. So Hyperconductor, you get 2 skill charges, but you get reduced mod power generation, which is fine because your mods aren't that big a deal. They matter a little bit, but not too much. Then you have casting speed, which is important for making your Havoc go quickly. Haste ring for reasons, because the way this works, if you go past 100% casting speed, or if you hit 100% casting speed, you do 0 damage. For instance, the thing that most folks use, which is still going to be good, is going to be this Justice Bell. When I have it equipped, I have 132 casting speed. I now do 0 damage. Literally 0 damage. Very unfortunate. The goal for most would be just below 100% casting speed, but I can't get that. Instead, 97% is the best I can do. And thankfully, haste gives you 7% increase to all the wearer's actions, including casting speed. And the ring itself, you only get haste if you're receiving healing. And again, thankfully, I took the time to get the Tranquil Heart, which gives you passive regeneration always, health regen. So I'm always going to have haste thanks to this relic, which has gotten through a little bit of a convoluted nonsense. Gotta reset your campaign and get Seeker's Rest, as well as Model Parish. It's a fun time. Google it, have fun with that if you want that. And then the Stone of Continuation. This is so much extra damage. It's basically 25% extra damage because it increases duration by 25%. I've tested it. It's insane. This right here dunks on the freaking electricity ring some fierce. So run that for sure ski. And it makes other weapons kind of, or I think it helps your engineer ammo as well, if I had to guess. And the final ring is Devoured Loop. Critical hits have a 1% chance to reset skill cooldowns, can only occur once every 10 seconds. It increases all incoming damage received by 10%, which doesn't matter too much on apocalyptic because you won't die regardless. But this is massive. It means that your Havoc itself can reset its own cooldown, and if not, you have your engineer gun, you got your other weapons and stuff, so you got many chances to reset that. But basically, attack speed or hitting very often is a big deal for this. Now, for anyone who doesn't have Devouring Loop, you can use the Grounding Stone Ring for extra shock damage, or if you want more overall damage, take Stone of Balance. Just have 7% more damage. I was at one point in time using this, nope, wrong ring. Using this ring, and it was not good. Like, look at this, dude. Critical hits reduce skill cooldown by 3%, can only happen once every 2 seconds. It's not good enough. Actually, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. Now, the reason why Engineer is good for your second perk is Metalworker. Increases skill damage by 50% and skill critical chance by 10%, which is a big deal. Crit chance helps us, and the damage also really helps us. The archetype setup for folks that don't have all the loot that I have in the video would probably be better off as Engineer than Archon, because now you have high tech. Holding the skill button will overclock a carried or deployed heavy weapon, making its ammo infinite for duration, increasing fire rate and giving it 25% increase to damage. That's pretty massive. You don't have if you don't have the Tommy gun, it's not ideal. You don't have momentum, even less ideal. No corrosive rounds. There's basically no point in using a basic gun. Instead, just use the skill for the engineer. Just use this gun after using your Archon or your Havoc ability from Archon, because otherwise Archon's prime perk is good once you have everything you need, because Tempest will just make it so you have corrosive rounds up always, and it makes Tommy gun have around 55 to 65% crit if the math is mathing. So yeah, also don't sleep on the freaking minigun. All right, the minigun for the engineer slaps. Flamethrower, it's decent, but the minigun can hit weak spots. I guess flamethrower can too, but it's nowhere near strong. 400 crit versus like 140 crit from the flamethrower. For your weapons, secondary doesn't matter too much. You could maybe take something that hits more often for your modifier or a gun in general. But the big deal, I think, would be having the Chicago Top Rider, which is pretty easy to get once you have the Labyrinth unlocked. And then you equip the corrosive rounds, so you get 10% crit chance from the weapon. You get 15 from corrosive rounds, so 25. And then if you have momentum, which is gotten from the Imperial Gardens and killing that giant flying thing, you get an extra 30% if it's level 10. So that's pretty good, I'd say. Gear is like whatever you want. You can maybe have fat rolls if you're weird like that. I like to have light dodges. As of yesterday, after 100 hours, I learned you could do that. I'm new. Don't hurt me or my feelings. Potion that I recommend for this build would be Xenoplasm. Reduce skill cooldowns by 10%, and in this case lasts 2 hours. The trade points are what you want them to be. In my case, I got Swiftness always, Trios for extra healing received, Expertise for cooldown reduction. That's pretty much an amazing one to pick, but some folks may not like it. I think it's good. Mod Generation, sometimes I take this time I didn't. And Vigor, just in case I take a hit, but it's more so for running around the map and not getting smoked when going to objectives, because sometimes I reset the campaign or in adventure mode just to run to the actual main objective or side ones, and skipping the random trash in the middle because I already have max XP. I have nothing to regain from killing them. They got Footwork for movement speed while aiming. It's pretty nice, not gonna lie. Handling to decrease the spread on guns like the Tommy gun, the 1806, but mostly Tommy gun in this case. And lastly, I got Siphon, or on the off case I don't get one shot and I can get back some extra HP from doing damage. As far as some tips go with the build, first and foremost, be careful of the cast times. First, at the start, when you cast it, you gotta freaking go through the animation, and then at the end. If you just sit there and go crazy, it's about 1.5 seconds where you can't dodge at all. You'll die. You will die if you're not being careful with that. If you have a bunch of ads, you're like just going through the actual map trying to clear some ads, you don't have to just hold down the button, you can tap it. If you do so, it lasts a lot longer. That is pretty much the Archoneer build. It's pretty fun to use. I enjoy it very much, and I'm gonna go ahead and do Apocalypse with it before it gets nerfed, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna change something with the cast speed. I don't think they enjoy how quickly it dishes out damage. Anyway, thanks y'all for watching. Have a good day. If you liked the video, like and comment goes a long way, and have a good one. Peace.